Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video, I'll be continuing on the How to Script series on Roblox. In today's video, I'll be covering over if statements. As it sounds, it's an if condition, so if a condition is met, then we'll continue on. For example, if I go outside, then I'll see the sun. If the condition is met, so if I went outside, then I'll see the sun, which was inside the if statement. So let's start off. We already covered variables yesterday, last video, so we can skip over that. Now, we have to use the keyword if as our argument or condition. For example, my condition here is if the day equal, make sure that it's two equal signs, because when we use one equal sign, it means we want to set a value. For example, when I set the day value to 10. But we have two equal signs, it means we want to check if it's equal to. So if the day is equal to 10, which is what we want to compare to, then we want to print the day is 10. End. Now, if you're wondering what this then and end is, it's like a table, or not a parameter I would say, of everything that's inside of it will be running if this condition is met. As you can see, Roblox will have an arrow here indicating that anything inside this if statement will hide under this end, which will show what's inside. So if I just put another hello, this will only run if this condition is met. And if I put it outside here, it'll just print hello normally. So let's try and run it. As you can see, the day is 10. That means to print hello. Now, let's try it again, and in this case, let's change the day to 11 or 12. Let's play it. We only got hello. Now what this shows is that the if statement, its condition wasn't met, so the day was not equal to 10. Now what if we wanted to work with any number that's higher than 10? Well then, we can do something called a less than or greater than signs. So we can use a if the day is greater than 10, meaning that if it's 11 and higher, then the day is higher than 10. And we can print this now and test it out and see if this works. The day is higher than 10, which is true. And if we want to check if it's lower than 10, we can just do the lower sign. You get the point. Now what if we want to include the number 10? Well, instead of having to go a number extra to include 10, we can do an equal sign right after. So if it's greater than or less than in this place, and then equal sign, it'll say if it's, in this case, if it's less than or equal to 10, then the day is lower or equal to 10. So if we run it, while it's 10, the day is lower or equal to 10. Exactly. What if I want to have two arguments? For example, if a day is less than 10 and greater than 5, well then we can use a keyword called AND. This AND will be able to connect two conditions together in an if statement or something else. So if we want to write day is greater than 5. So now any number that's in between 10 and 5 plus 1, because we don't include 5, we don't have an equal sign, so 6. So anything in between 6 and 10 will run. So if we have the number 7, and now I run it, the day is lower than 10, and it would be bigger than 5. Now what if I want to write these conditions separately? Well, then I can have an OR. Now, what this OR does is, if one condition is not met, well then, what we want to do is, we want to do another condition separately. So this is one set of conditions separately, and this is the other set of conditions separate. So for example, if the day is less than 10, or if the day is greater than 15, which means that the numbers that won't work will be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, because it has to be less than 10, and greater than 15. These are our conditions. So these numbers are kind of like the odd ones numbers out. We don't want these numbers. Another thing we can do is if we have, for example, a condition. So if name is equal to John, which is true, and days either greater than 15 or less than 10. Now, you may assume that, oh, because the name is equal to John, and the day is greater than 15, which is not, it's less, so then it'll run this one instead. However, if this isn't being accounted for, so if we have, for example, Bethany, for example, then the issue here would be this wouldn't condition true, okay, this wouldn't be true, and we'd skip this and go to this immediately. Now, what if you wanted to include the name? What if you want to make sure the name is there and that only the numbers will be affected? Well then, what we're going to do is we're going to insert a pair of brackets. These brackets will make it that anything inside these brackets will run, and the thing that's true will be returned. For example, we have an OR statement here, and whichever one is true will be returned. If they're both false, then it'll return false. Now that you understand the basics of conditions we can use, let's go on to seeing some of the other stuff we can use if statements for. So we just go up here. As you can see here, I have an if statement here with a whole bunch of these extra stuff. So we'll start off bit by bit. We first have our argument. If the day is equal to 12, then let's print the name. But what if we don't? What if the day is not equal to 12, and we want to check if the day is 13 and do something else? If it's 14, we want to do something else. Well, then instead of having to write another if statement, another if statement, another if statement every single time, we can do an if else or an else if in this case. So before this end, in between the end and the then, we'll have an else if keyword here, our argument, and then. So this else if is kind of acting as the parameter barrier between this and this. And we can have a separate argument here telling us, oh, if the day is equal to 12, print the name. Else if the day is equal to 10, then wrong day. But what if we want like a backup plan? If everything is false, we want to run something. Well, then we can just use an else. And this else right here will just be like the backup plan. If everything else goes false or goes wrong, then we'll go to the end and let's print the end. So if we try it out now, we have the day 7 and we get printed the end. And if we, for example, have one of these conditions set to 7, which is the current day is, we'll have wrong day. That's pretty much it for how if statements works. If you guys want to see more videos, comment down below, and have a good day. See ya.